All right, everybody. I know it's been over a month, I think, but my laptop died. Mentally, it's been a little bit tough. But I really wanted to make a video, especially after Kansas City. Jumping back into Fab, I've still been playing every now and then, but I wanted to give you guys a glimpse into my Ira list, which I'll be bringing to the PQ season. I'm kind of debating skipping the skirmish season though. Nothing really interests me too much. Having a Scurv would be cool, I suppose, but I wanted to show you guys my Ira list. Um, so unique that okay, let's clarify first. A lot of people at the moment have been on Shoma's list with the Shuko and the 1 power blue combo cards. Now, as someone that's been playing Ira for, well, in Blitz, I would say years, but in CC, basically non-stop since she's come out. Um, I think there's a lot of variety to her now, especially with the Okana cards. Um, it's really interesting, but what I love about the Flick Knives package is that you're a lot more proactive into your bad matchups. So think Verdance, right? That's a really horrible matchup, and as you saw in Kansas City, where Ira's coming third, I think it's important to know how to navigate your Kasai's, your Verdances, even Slippy to an extent, because I think that's a very high intense skill matchup. Regardless, we are on Flick Knives and Blood Splattered Vest. These two go hand in hand. If you're running this, you have to run this. Most lists are on Tunic, and then Pouncing Paws, Mask of Momentum, Best in Slot, right? I was on 3 Kadachis, if you remember my old list, but I'm back on 2 because I wanted a little bit more sideboard room. So let's dive into it. So we're on a core 50 at the moment. This is kind of what we're working with. So we've got Bittering Thorns, just a classic attack, right? It's basically a 1 for 5, 1 for 6. If you want to do the typical fab maths. Sensor, all-star card, can win your game single-handedly. Command and Conquer is Command and Conquer. Cut Through is really nice in this list, especially as a play to start off with it. Say you need a resource off a 2-card hand, no blue. We can go Cut Through for 0, 0 for 3, you know, it's unassuming, they know what's coming. Hit him with the Flick Knives, that is 1 point plus another point and go again. So we are now coming in with a pseudo 0 for 5, go again, gain a resource off the vest, and then we can hit him with a Sensor or even a Torrent of Tempo, which is down here. Really nice play there if you're kind of caught up a little bit. Enlightened Strike is just Enlightened Strike, it's a really good card. Really helps you fix your hands, and in this kind of list, you really benefit from draw a card. Same as Mask of Momentum, actually. Pain in the Backside at the moment, I'm down to 2 copies. This was a 3 of, but I needed to make room for Snatch, because I think a 1 of Snatch in this meta is quite nice. I've only really added this the last couple of days, and I've played a couple games into Slippy, and it's quite nice. It feels good. Pick up the point, we need this. This is our retrieve to work with our Flick Knives. Keeping track of this throughout your entire game is really important. Just being able to essentially know when to flick, when to make plays like the one I mentioned before with Cut Through. Really, really important. Sink Below is in the main. I don't think I ever take this card out unless it's against Kano. Yeah, it's Sink Below, right? That's exactly what we want it to do. Yeah, the single snatch. So the reason why I didn't want to take out a Torrent of Tempo is because this deck is very aggressive. It's a lot more proactive than a Shuko list, or even an Okada list, I would say, actually, as well. And in that case, I didn't want to take out more 3 blocks, so I swapped the Pain in the Backside. I'll see how this feels. A lot of the time, this is just a free give me a card, which is essentially how you can treat it. It is a 0 for 4, 0 for 5 if you play it second, you're in the aggro matchup, maybe they don't have armor left, it can be really annoying. But most of the time, I think I'd rather just the breakpoint from the Snatch. Moving on, we've got 2 Torrent and Tempo. A lot of these cards, by the way, you'll see are very similar. 2 Torrent and Tempo. Really, really nice card into the aggro matchups. Just a simple 1 for 5 that blocks 3 with a very good on hit. Very subtle. It's kind of like Sensor, but you know, can extend. Sometimes if you're lucky, maybe you get the mask draw into a Cut Through or a Pain or a Pickup or a Snatch. That's kind of the the idea of the mask. Dual threat is phenomenal. Basically, our mini Blood Rush Bellows helps us push into the brute matchups, helps us push into. Sorry, I said brute matchups. Helps us push in the aggro matchups. I'm thinking Syndra, I'm thinking Slippy. You can come in basically the combo here with your Snatch, bring in a Snatch for 7. If you play it second, you're coming in for 8 as well, which is really important too. Concealed Blade, this is kind of an interesting slot at the moment. I'm thinking about maybe adding another Nip because it works with Kodachis. And a lot of things here are 3 or less, right? We've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Like 16 targets for Nip, not including the Kodachis, right? Very, very nice late game card. Yeah, I've been very impressed with this since I saw it in a couple lists a little bit ago. But back to the Concealed Blade, this card was a lot more impactful when I was on the 3rd Kodachi. It is something that I'm thinking about, and I'll give you a little insight post the kind of deck breakdown into my meta at the moment and what I'm thinking is the meta for PQ. But at the moment, I don't think I need the extra Kodachi, but you know, nice little +1, works on a lot of the ninja cards too, so we take it, right? Knives Out, just a nice little block 3, can kind of leak a lot of damage. Maybe you have a redundant card in your hand. Sometimes Ira gets that, that's why I've built this blue base to be a lot more active, you could say. Talked about it. So these are our other 3, so we've got 6 retrieve cards total. I have thought about replacing Snatch with a red Upsticks though. Not sure though, because I really find the attack action retrieve cards much more important, even though they're kind of understated compared to the Upsticks. I just think continuing mask is really important, and if you're breaking the chain, your opponents have less incentive to block. And in a deck like this, you can definitely punish them for not blocking. But yeah, you know, nice little 1 attack, can be quite annoying. Gets armor very, very quickly, very easily. Rowdy Local is just a phenomenal card. Nice little 3 block. Late game, it's a 0 for 4. It can also shred the deck a little bit and make things quite awkward. Stab Wound, that's just a nice 2 of, just to kind of round everything out. We're on 21 blues as well, currently, which is, I think, the right spot. I've been playing with 22. But a lot of the time you'll find you just get too many clunky hands, and you need attack actions. That's kind of where we're at. Yeah, Throw Dagger works, of course, because we're on retrieve. It can let us draw a defense reaction if we're lucky, or maybe an attack for our arsenal. Keeps the chain alive. Great stuff. Warmongers is Warmongers. Fits into the deck perfectly, right? Subtly good into Marionette, as well as Fang can be very important. What other matchups is that really good into? Vincent as well, if you see a couple of them. Be of note that it does brick dual threat though, which can be quite tough to manage. So make sure you're pitching these when you're playing this or blocking, or you know, straightforward, right? Now onto the spicy stuff. So we bring in 10 cards total, okay? Erase Face, really good into Verdance, really good into Acilio, really good into Fang, really good into Syndra. Can be sometimes good into Assassin, not really, don't really want this card into Assassin. Brutes as well, it's great. Yeah, there's a lot of niche kind of things. Oh, Jarl as well, it's phenomenal. Anything talented, of course. We've got Fate for Scenes just to kind of give us some more game into the Assassins and the Guardians. If they try to pummel, we can hold on. Humble is a new include as well. Really not a fan of the 2 blocks. But essentially, it's just good value. I mean, look, turning off Mario's hero ability, turning off Florian's, turning off Kano as well. Acilio's kind of whatever. Slippy stopping the first stealth card having go again can stop some Kiss of Death combos as well if they want to let it hit. So overall, very, very impressed with Humble. Think it's a great addition. A couple days ago, I did add Razor alongside the Snatch, which is kind of replacing this slot and potentially a Torrent of Tempo. Sometimes I'm up on 3 of those, sometimes I'm on 2. It's the day of the week for me, pretty much. What can I say about it? Closes games, snatch for 7, draw a card, go again. You know the drill. You know the drill. Go on. This is Welcome to Wraith right here. Shelter, just another D-Reac, rounds out our 9 defense reactions quite nicely. I have thought about going to Flick Flax as well, which I'll talk about in the meta in just a little bit, the reason why I'm thinking about that. Sigils are just here for Verdance, essentially, and potentially a CLO, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I need this card, and sometimes I feel like I really don't. It's a really good Arsenal bait, though, if you're against a Guardian, because they're banking on you having a defense reaction in your Arsenal all the time. So, really good into them. One of these slots, between these two cards was a red unmovable, which I was running for a little bit, just good into Valda, good into Victor, that sort of thing. But I don't think my local meta is going to be really Guardian based. So yeah. Weakest Link might tell you a little bit something about the list, very similar to how it was a good while ago. A couple months back before Nationals, I was running this card before High Seas. Just phenomenal card, honestly. The 3-block standout part of it, as cliche as that is. Yeah, honestly, what can I say about it? It's phenomenal into Acilio. Like, getting back-to-back hands of Command and Conquer into Erase, into Weakest Link, into Acilio really puts them on a clock where they just can't eat all of your damage as often as they'd like to. Good into Gravy as well to discard an ally, but sometimes that helps them out, so you gotta be careful with that when you play it. What else? Good into Vodens if you can snag a potion or Kano as well. Rampant Growth, something like that, force it out, don't let them pitch it. Yeah, a couple other niche. Another big thing with this card that I'm not on Sound the Alarm anymore is because you can run this into an assassin, and it kind of acts the same. It is overcosted a little bit, you know, +1 stat, +1 cost on it, 1 for 5, 2 for 6, right? But we don't mind that because we have free resources, right? Makes sense. I am on 3 snag. Now, I'm on 3 over 2 because I'm really expecting Slippy and Verdance to be quite popular in my meta. I guess I'll start talking on that. So, in our local scene, we've had a lot of Acilio players, and they're very good. They're new players that have picked up the game, and it's scary. The deck is legit, so I've kind of made this list a lot more anti. Yeah, so also with Light Up the Leaves as well, I'm on AB3, which you'll notice. Not really sure if that's the play, to be honest. I think maybe there's an avenue for Fatigue, but if the Verdance brings potions into you, you're kind of screwed. So I've been tossing up AB2, Flick Knives Mask. I don't know, just not a matchup you want to see at all. It's kind of where the sigils, maybe 9 D-Racks potentially. I don't know. Still trying to figure that one out. I've got a couple really solid teammates that are on Verdance, so I'll try and get their opinions on it. But yeah, Snag, great into Mario, great into Slippy, great into the Earth Heroes, surprisingly, where you can stick it in Arsenal and kind of juice them, you know, acts like a 0 for 4 against the Felling or a Plow Under. Yeah, really nice card to have 3 of. But yeah, I think back to where we were at before, if I'm looking at the meta, what I'm expecting is Slippy, Verdance. My local scene doesn't have a lot of Gravy, but I'm really good into Gravy anyway, so I don't want to waste the space. I know that matchup so well, and I'll go into my stats a little bit in just a sec. Yeah, I think that's... Oh yeah, these are my maybe as well. Probably going to get rid of this. I think Upsticks can definitely come in maybe for Snatch. Kind of is like basically a 0 for 4, right? But it has Retrieve. Compliance I thought would be good into Verdance, but I had a little chat with my mates, and I don't think it does anything because they just go rampant into Verdance ping, and you can't really do much about it. Oh, also AB3 is Volcano. But yeah, this is kind of what I've been rocking with at the moment. I'm just not a fan of the 1 power combo blues guys. Sorry, I just think the lists are not great. And that's coming from a ninja player of 4 to 5 years. Katsu, Ira, Zen, you name it. I don't know. The list seems like extremely predictable and extremely easy to counter if you know what you're doing. And I've had good success with this deck into it. But don't get me wrong, that deck does use Flick Flack really well. And this deck, as you can see, does not. So yeah, that's why we're on 9. We're not running Flick Flax at the moment. But hey, things could change, right? So yeah, this is kind of what I've settled on. I really want to play a couple games tonight. I'll probably do like maybe one game or so, maybe one or two. Um, I don't know how long I've been yapping, but I'll we'll see it in a little bit. But yeah, let's just go into the. Oh, sorry. Yes. Results. Results. The most important one. What everyone wants to see besides the deck list, right? Ratios up here, by the way, if you guys want to see. Um, so we're at 1,000 matches, which isn't entirely true because this list has gone through many changes and many versions. So this is, I would say, with this particular deck and the changes I've made, probably around 400 matches, 4 to 500. Potentially could be more. I don't know. It's hard to keep track, but yeah, we're looking at a solid 65% win rate. And yeah, I'll kind of show you where we're at. So. Slippy, we're 26 and 18. It is quite an even matchup. I do think it's very skill intensive. You can just get got by them banishing snags and that sort of thing. We'll go to Mario, we're at 36 and 26. I do think that this matchup is better for you than Slippy. Just essentially because they're sort of just trying to load into a dagger, and you know you can play around that quite well. Obviously, this is from Aurora, but we were not that great into Aurora because the deck is just better. Azalea was quite favored as well, you know, D-Reacts, chip, makes sense, right? Bravo, blah, blah, blah. Syndra, we have way too many games, 52 to 28. I do think this is one of our best matchups alongside Gravy. I think if you go second, it's pretty much like 70-30 for you, genuinely. I've had games where I've come back from like 1 to 15 and won, or maybe 2 to 15 if they don't have Flick. But yeah, I'll hope to get a Syndra because I think if you know how to block and you know what. So another thing with Ira is that the deck really extremely rewards you for not only knowing your deck but knowing your opponent's decks incredibly well. And that's one thing that I've noticed that a lot of people don't say. They're always like, you know, oh, this card does this and this card does this, and that's true. That is true. You know, each card has its role as any deck. But I think personally, if you know your opponent's deck maybe as well as they do, if you're on that level as a player, then your senses hit better, your blocking decisions become better, you know when to go aggro, when to hold back, when to flick, when not to flick, and you get so many minuscule matchup points just through that. Dio, we are quite favored. I think you can. What I've been doing is you go quite aggro, and then you can pivot to fatigue once they've been like, oh yeah, this is a race, and then they start boosting, you know, then they get rid of their cerebellums, and they get rid of their backup protocols and their twin drives, etc. Heists and all that. A lot of cool ways to play this matchup. You're very reactive in this matchup, I feel like, unless you have a baller blue bittering CNC kind of hand or a weakest link sort of thing. But yeah, Dorinthia, not too many games, but we are 10 and 5. I think with all the defense reactions and the chipping, you're quite favored. And I used to play Dorinthia a ton in Blitz, so I have a good experience understanding what the deck tries to do. Enigma, we'll skip over that. Phi, we are undefeated. I think you are the better ninja. Full stop. This one here, Fang. Now, there's been a lot of rumblings. We're 26 to 20, quite even as well. You'll notice a lot of these matchups were slightly favored, just based off playing. But yeah, we don't really have any guaranteed matchups, except for maybe Gravy, maybe Jarl, that kind of thing. But yeah, I think Fang's in a really interesting spot. I think he's quite good into Acilio. I think he's very good into the assassins, and that's kind of been the rumblings of my locals. So more people on Acilio, a lot of very good players on assassin. Excuse me. Yeah, kind of an interesting deck. So I'm glad we have a decent win rate. You really need to go second though, or else it's not good. Florian, horrible matchup. We never want to see this deck, but Gravy kills him. So bye bye. Gravy Bones, we are 34 and 5. To all of the people out there that say this matchup is getting even, I don't think it is. I think you're so incredibly favored into this hero that I've had multiple people on Teleshar quit. All of my results, by the way, are all in the competitive queue. Just want you guys to know that. So no fluff. Try to keep it as real as I can. Ira, we're 16 and 11. Another skill-based matchup. The sigils are really important in this matchup too, so kind of nice on that. Jarl, 37 and 12. Pretty decent, I think. The matchup can be tricky if they get a good start and neg your flick knives or your boots. But holding onto D-Rex and knowing when the CNC pummels are coming is how you win that game. Kano, we are not really that great into Kano, 12 to 19. Not expecting many Kanos though, but I think this matchup is tricky if you're not extremely proactive. But, you know, if Kano gets the Kano cards, you just lose. Kasai, I do need to test a little bit more, but from my experience, I think this is a terrible matchup. The results won't show it, but Dynamo's phenomenal, gains you like 40 life. The reactions are, you're like, at the start of the game, how it works is you're like, oh yeah, this is fine, you know, I can take a couple hits here and there, maybe I can like, you know, use some defense reactions on these attack reacts, but then when you get to the mid to end game, you're like, oh, I have no more reactions, and I can't keep taking hits, and they're just blocking me out with 2 to 3 cards every turn and swinging, so what do I do? Yeah, unless you go hyper, very, very tough. Katsu, if you know how to block, you'll win. KO 15 to 7. Matchup's fine. It's not really relevant to talk about. Same with Levia. Sorry. Marlon with 31 and 7. I do have 2 really close mates that are Marlon stands. Matchup's tricky. Matchup's deeper than you think. Multiple lists have different cards, so it's very interesting. I'll skip over Nu and Olympia and don't. Hey, whoa. Yeah, you didn't see that. You didn't see it. Acilio, 28 to 19. Been testing a lot with this matchup. Been testing AB3, AB2, AB1, no AB. I think you just go no AB and you say balls to the wall. If you got the Mind Warp, brother, you got the Mind Warp. That's kind of how I deal with it. Prism, we have way too many poppers for them, so 29 to 14. Puffin as well, just kind of like an aggro deck that has to jump through hoops, so, you know, cool hero though. Like, love the mechanic. I hope they do more with it, because I think that over the Neon theme is much better. Rhinar, we're 11 and 8. I don't know. No one's really playing Rhinar. I'm trying to be a little bit more in the competitive scene with these stat breakdowns at the moment. Riptide is a really fun matchup. I have another mate that's a very big Riptide stan, and well, 2 mates actually, and this matchup can go either way. I think they can fatigue you if you don't play this correctly, if you don't bring in sigils, and if they're on Dreadbore. But it's winnable. It's winnable. Bolton, sure, tough nut. I've played a game, I guess. We'll go here. I think Valda, we're 8 and 1. I think this matchup's very favored for you. Similar to the Jarl matchup, actually. I think Victor is our worst Guardian matchup, though, by far. Verdance, we're 11 and 15. This is much more Verdance favored than this stat breakdown looks. Most of the time, this is just me getting lucky, or they don't decompose, really. Victor, we are 13 and 10. Very close matchup. If we don't draw dual threat early, we essentially just lose. They have too much time to set up gold main estates and big attacks with like CNC pommels, and we just get stomped, especially with the value from trounces, not to mention Test of Iron Grip, which is mental. You have to be very careful with how they play. Yeah, phenomenal card though, love that. We'll skip this, skip Minset, yeah, sure, 28-13, whatever, right? Zen, we were 20 and 3, cool. This was a fun matchup though, I really enjoyed this one. Anyway, those are the stats right now. If you guys want to have a look, you can copy the list, whatever. Shall we jump into a game? Competitive queue, let's see what we get. And we get a Velda. Awesome. Alright, well now I can show you guys what I'm doing. So, like I said, 10 cards. Always bring these 6. Just phenomenal, why not? I also really enjoy adding the Humbles just to turn off the hero ability here. Stopping Dominate and also the Seismic Surge generation. I think there's an argument to bring in Weaker Slings, Sigil or Razor. We have an extra slot here. I think personally, I'm gonna go with the. I think we'll try the. I think we'll try the sigil in this game. Maybe we get lucky. All right. Cool. I'll go full screen here. Hopefully this records it. I'm still getting used to OBS as well, by the way, guys. Yeah. This is a great hand, and if they just do this and pass, we are balling. Destroy this. Blah blah blah. Oh, this is the expansion slot card, right? Yeah. Great. So starting to. Okay, cool. So with this hand here, so they can block 3, right? Okay. So I think we're just gonna play it like this. I'm tempted to leave this up here, but I do want to pressure them quite a lot. So we'll go here. This is where our vest becomes extremely useful, being able to Dachi first, get the break point, come in for 5 here. We're going to bait out some blocks, and then we're going to play this pain for 4, probably get a D-react, and then we'll... Oh, never mind. Very nice, clean defense reaction on that. Could flick here. Could even Dachi into pain, gain a resource 6, but with all the armor, we're not really going to do that. Now that he did block that though, I think I'm fine just sending the Humble here, because if this connects, we turn off the Dominate from Valda. But we do have to remember they have this, so you can put X cards from your hand on the bottom of your deck, where X is the number of soldiers, so 3, and then they draw 3 cards. Interesting. So probably going to get a full block here, is what I'm thinking, because they probably want the Dominate if it's like a Spinal Crush. That's what I'm expecting. But getting the Testament early is quite good, to be honest. Balance is a dead card. Blocks 2, great. We should run Providence. But I think that's just inexperience from people. So getting a lot of armor here turn 1. So I'm definitely expecting a Spinal. But we'll see what they've got. So this is a great hand too, actually, depending on what they've got. I wonder if Telstra has the new ones coded. The marbles. I think those look beautiful. I actually want one for my collection. The Aria one looks stunning, as most people would attest to. Oh, put them in their place. Oh, so they could be holding a pummel as well, which would be really nice for them here. We can't block this out, so... So we're going to draw that many cards, eh? It's a little bit tough. If there's a pummel here, that's brutal. I think we just block 4 and then kind of see what we've got. See what we're working with here. No pummel, okay. But... Oh, that's very interesting. So they're getting tons of surges here though, so... Interestingly enough though, now they get to use the Testament again, which is the only time they will. Little bit unfortunate here. I'm thinking we can go 3 into 8 Arsenal the dual threat. Or 1 4 1 7. So it's like 13 to like pseudo 11 to 12 Arsenal. I'm just kind of worried. Okay, so we know with this... Okay, I think the right play is actually we're just going to go here and then try and do a good amount of damage while we can. Really great start though from this Valda. Very, very impressed. Okay, yeah, that's definitely a pummel then. Just fine. We'll just do this here. Bring you down to 27. And then we'll see what you got. Love this artwork too. It's so badass. Yep. Cool. Alright, now we take the Brunt. Kind of meh hand as well. We don't really mind losing a little bit of this. Oh, instability. Sure. Okay. I really like this card in the sense of when you have Valda's ability, you're like removing the defense reaction from Arsenal before you attack. Draw a card. +3. Add blue? Really cool. Oh, interesting with the balance. Okay, mind my ignorance. I see now. I understand. You can force me to draw cards. But what do you have here? You have 6 for the next turn too, and +3. Oof, Terra Sunder too. Damn. Alright, we are getting smacked. Am I gonna draw another card? That's crazy, dude. Holy. Discard it, that's whatever. So no pummel though, but we are discarding 2. So we are discarding 3. If this hits, which it probably will, because this hand, whatever, right? So we take 9. So if we block for 3, discard 3, discard 1, 2, 3. And then we go bam, 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 arsenal that. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I think that's a fair trade. Really cool interaction there, though. That was really cool. Actually, I'm gonna discard that because I want to have some threat in my deck. I probably should have kept the Rowdy, to be honest, but I think this matchup is surprisingly fast. So I'm expecting the Testament to block here, potentially. Not sure how active they will be able to get, but... yep, okay, cool. Getting a Shelter in the Arsenal is quite nice too, because, yeah, Dominate is scary. I think we do want to threaten Mask, so we're going to go like this. I know we're decreasing our damage chances, but I think that's fine. So glad this card's seeing play. As a Fab Boomer, that's 21. I think this card is really cool working with Velda's hero ability. Cool, so 7 Surges are going to start, and +3. Very worried here, because they can play anything in their deck for free. Except for a Pulverize, right? Okay hand, kind of depends what they got, right? Nice, yep. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, right? So we have to just eat this one. I am going to Fate because I want to see what we're going to draw into. So I think that's fine. I think the more blocking cards in our hand, the better, to be honest. Yep, so block 8. I am expecting a pummel here, but I suppose not. Okay, sure. Maybe just a bit of a tough hand, I guess. Very nice seismic. Yep. Really keeping up with these. Put them in their place. Can you slow down, buddy? Don't really like that card actually. Yeah. So decent hand, kind of whatever, right? We don't really mind. There is an argument that I should have pitched this and just attack with this, because if he lets us this hit, we lose the Fate for Scene. Which makes me not really want to attack with it. I think... Oh, excuse me. Okay, I think now that this hits, we can attack with it because we can auto mask to discard this, the other card before this. Probably going to get Gauntlets though, or the Testament. Probably Perfect Testament actually. Cool. So just eating through the armor, that's what we like to see. But them having this chain of seismics, I've never really been high rolled by a Valda like this. So we'll see what we can do. Unmovable here. Oh, would be goated. I gotta read this one again. One more. Getting actions. Draw a card and get one. It's like a better. Oh, what's that Welcome to Earth card? The 2-cost one? I don't know. You guys know what I mean. Yellow Sift. This guy's cooking. This guy's actually cooking. I'm terrified. And it, oh my gosh, dude. He's getting all of his best cards. Help me. 8 Dominate. We can't draw cards. Do we care? Does it actually matter? Probably not. I'd rather leave this in my arsenal, if I'm being honest. So we can either... Do we go for damage here? I think potentially it's better to go for damage over playing the Warmongers out on this turn. Even though they do have a decent amount of non-attacks though. They kind of do, don't they? Draw a crowd, they got surface shake. Maybe that's the better play. Actually think I'll do that. Yeah, I think I'm fine with doing this actually. Because if I can kind of stall them, then I think that's where we need to be right now. We need to make a little bit of ground, so I don't mind that. Yep, so Flick Knives, pretty nice here, just extra chip. I could gain a resource and do another little dagger, but I think it's fine. Cool, let's see if we get any armor here. Nope, I respect it. Command and Conquer. Ah, that's right. I knew that. Alright. Hit him with the Warmongers. Yeah, I guess just see what we can do, right? Keeping our armor up. Just trying to keep our life total as high as possible while we can. Maybe they'll run out of Surge Generation if we're lucky, but we'll see. Really good hand here. But they have a 6-card hand, so we'll see. Hey, there it is. That's the card. That's the card. Alright, if this is Pummel, we are screwed. But that's fine. It's a risk I'm willing to take. Yes, I want that on top. 100%. Wow! So we completely ruined them, I think, with that Warmongers. That's crazy. Really lucky on our part there. And getting a sigil. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. I am thinking... Nah, it's not worth it. Yeah, just gotta send it. Okay, sure. Let's see what he's got. Sift. Yep. Okay, so Warmongers was the right play there. Ooh, very nice, very nice. Let's see what he's got. Sorry. Is this like if they do draw a card? Oh, cool. So we can just do this in response and then just say no seismic surge. That's pretty cool. And we get around the fault line. That's crazy. Cool. I'm just going to eat this because... And I'll turn this on as well because this does not matter to us at all. I'm really keen to see if they've got pummels though. Maybe just unlucky draws. Cool. Yep, so we're going to connect once here. Okay. Cool. Yep, we'll gain a resource, which means now this basically just blocks for 1. We'll go here. See if they'll give us flexes or not. Potentially could give us flexes if we're keeping a whole hand. I mean, I think I would probably. Interesting. So we're not flicking here then, if he's taking it. Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. Now we want to flick. Then we'll come in for 4, so we can demand at least their last 2 bits of armor, or a card plus the flexes. And then we get to go another 4 damage after this Arsenal the Sink. So, yeah, kind of not a bad little comeback that we've had. I think we've had some pretty fortunate draws, some unfortunate ones too, but yeah. Pitching Leyline is tough though. I don't think you ever want to pitch this card. I think it's a very good card to play. Cool, yeah, we'll go pick up the point. Awesome. Yep. And then a nice little chip. And we've kept all 5 of our armor, which is very good, I think. Being disciplined with your armor and ninja is extremely important, because if you choke once, that's it. Just a choke slam here, we don't care, and they've got an arsenal, so we're actually going to block like this. Why not, right? I mean, hey, card's good for a reason. And they have 2 armor left, so this will get the Earthlaw bounty. I'm sorry if I'm seeming like I'm trying to predict him or something. I just... this is all coming from what I would do in his shoes if I was facing down the same cards, so... yeah, don't take it as me being cocky or arrogant or something. I'm not trying to be. I'm like kind of visualizing my turn and his turn in the same manner. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. Giving up gauntlets first. Sure. Yeah, I can see it. I think because I've blocked in... yeah, blocked with a concealed blade though, I'd probably block with that first. But... ooh, Clash of Vigor. Oh, and we know it's a CNC on top. Let's go, come on. Ah, I can try. So put him in the place on top, the last one. Cool. Ah, it feels so good to be back recording. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do. And I'll try and be a little bit more on top of it with scheduling and yeah, just timing and everything. With the war of the monarchs raging on, we need every bit of knowledge we can find to hold back the shadow. Oh, bit of a tough hand from the broski. Bit of a setup. We will punish you, unfortunately, my boy. So we're going to go here and here. Sorry, depending on what they do, I'm flicking into Command and Conquer or I'm just sending 6. I think, okay, so this is what I was talking about earlier. It's like count your retrieve. 3, so we have 3 left out of 24. Hence, we flick. And this is where you don't get screwed by resources, because get out of jail free, baby. 3 cards, or I get that arsenal. Surface shaking. Oh, there are pummels. Oh no, you just didn't get them to line up. Ah, that's a shame on the bro. Sorry, for the bro. And the last instability. Maybe you just wanted to show me. Should I say sorry? Nah, that seems a bit... eh. It's quite funny though, seeing how there's just straight upgrades like Seismic Eruption over cards in Dynasty that they probably thought were a bit too strong for Guardian, or maybe just hadn't explored the design space yet. But then they print like just a straight 0 for 3 instant that gives you Seismics, which is quite cool. So here we can actually... I think, so as much as I'd like to play this out, right, I think here, because we know this will hit, I think we honestly just go bam 5-7, potentially an extra 1 there too. The other line though was pitch sync for pickup, and then E-strike for 8, so push 9, get the dagger back, if you guys wanted to understand. Cool. We'll see what's on the top. Pulverize definitely will cut through. But yeah, this is pretty much game, I think, because even if he blocks 6, we can flick. Yeah, alright. Good game. Wow, decent comeback, I'd say, guys. That was a really interesting game. What did he have here? Oh, yes, of course. So Tier Asunder, how's the deck looking? So we had Rousers 2, Spinals just didn't really come up, and then the Pummels were right at the end. Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. Really impressed with Solid Ground, though. I think that's a really phenomenal card that should be played more. Even just as a blue 5 block. It's kind of like a staunch response in a way. Just didn't get the Pulverize, I think, as well, which would have been pretty impactful. But yeah, I do have to go at the moment now as well, guys. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope this was a cool kind of deck tech of where my brain is at. 20th of August, just in terms of what I'm looking at and preparing for. I'll try and capture some Slippy Acilio games because I think they're really interesting and I get very into it, you could say. But yeah, this is Ryan. Thank you for watching my Ira deck tech and a little bit of gameplay. So, peace.